Hello, it's Collette from the Sacred Rose Temple, and I'm here to give you this week's energy forecast. Ooh, we have some complexity in our energetic landscape, and that's all to do with the complexity of the lunar cycles that are circling and pooling in our shadow world. As I always see the moon as that darker aspect of the psyche, the one that pulls us into looking at shadow and behaviors. So if you feel like you're really going through it at the moment, it's because of this complex lunar cycle, and you might be feeling that there's a stirring deep within you that you can't escape anymore. You can't blame on anyone else. You can't project out, that it's standing right in front of you as your stuff that you need to sort through and change. And the complexity of that issue isn't easy to fix. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some time to unpick to get to the very root. I'll go into that a little bit more. But yeah, rightly so. If you're feeling a little bit out of wax, that you've been really going through it, this is normal as to what's been going on in our skies and in the energy. The moon moves into Cancer today on the 18th into and moves into Leo on the 20th, and then the sun goes into Virgo on the 22nd, and then we've got the new moon on the 23rd that goes into Virgo. So we've got a lot of movement, a lot of things going on. So what's going on? That's what's most important. We're going to be feeling many things. Extra sensitive. There's going to be a new alertness in us. There's just some awareness dropping in. Our intuition might be a little bit better. We might be really seeing some patterns or figuring things out. There is optimism. We're like, okay, I can see this and I could change this, which brings in a new perceptiveness. So we're learning things about ourselves, and that makes us very perceptive. It also brings in that new alertness that I said, that we're able to like kind of see things that we didn't. That's the whole kind of point of the moon energy. It's like the shadow starts to come through, but it gives us hope and motivation, and most of all, courage to be persistent and adaptable in facing these things that are going on within us. What your experience right now, whether it's a situation or whether it's internal, if you're doing the inner work as I am with, I'm deeply in my Jungian work and feeling these inner things in me stirring that the outer world is trying to show me, that it feels very intense and demanding. And I've really felt it over the last week where I'm like, oh, for God's sake, like not more. Can I get a break from myself? And it's relentless actually, because this is a big pattern that's coming up for you that you've been working towards and with for a long time. And so it really does just want to clear. That's what it wants to do. It may feel that it's like you've got the tension kind of energy around it. What we call in Jungian psychology is the tension of opposites, that there are two opposite forces within your psyche, and you can feel the push and pull of them. But what we call this is that when we put two tensions of opposites together comes that third channel. I've said this in a couple of my energy forecasts, and that third space, that third part, comes through not controlling or pushing or being apathetic. It's kind of like of a balance of energy where there is a birth. So it's really tricky to kind of, for me, it always feels like I'm tightrope walking, where I'm just in that pivotal space of gravitational non-control, not doing either, but just in this free dance where the tensions of the opposites really show themselves and then allow a third birth. It's going to feel that it's grounding you, like you feel very grounded, but you also feel really high because it's a very spiritual process. So again, they're two opposites that bring potentiality for this third new space that's coming into you, or third behavior, or third person, or third option. So that third is the birth, is the new, is the magic number. That two things that seem to be in opposition Do I stay? Do I go? Do I commit deeper, or do I walk away from this? Do I take that job or that job? Do I live in this country or that country? Whatever it is, it's bringing a realignment. And that realignment will change the trajectory of where you're going in life and what you've been doing so far. What's been keeping you out of balance is really showing itself to you right now. And like I said, there's not a quick fix. It's an unpicking. The moon energy, the lunar cycles are giving us the shadow, what we need to clear out. They're also showing us the ego. And this has been really big. I see a lot of people musing all the time about where they are, what's going on for them. And the thing is with the shadow and the ego, they're so strong in our psyche that really we need that third vision, that third person calling us out, because the ego is pretty thick to sidestep. And that is exactly what will be happening for you right now. You can be imagining all kinds of things, but the ego likes to imagine that you're the best. It's you that's not the trouble. Your behavior is not bad. All of this, it will want to do that. It's just a defense mechanism. But can you go beyond the ego? Can you really pull parts of yourself out that you didn't know about before? We all seem to think we've got ourselves figured out and we know it. Well, we haven't. Why aren't you in relationship, but you want to be? Have you figured that out? Or do you think you already know? What if there's new information that you could go to? So it's all kind of this stuff about pulling out what's not known from the unconscious that the moons can help us do because they're related to the shadow. So we're going to be really feeling that, like a clearing out, like a cleaning, like a tension of the opposites, like trying to validate ourselves where we're in the wrong, actually, where we just want to pretend we're always in the right. These things are going to take a lot of inner picking to get behind, to say, why do I do this? What is wrong? What am I not doing right? I had someone this week tell me that she was in, yeah, well, I have this with men, and and she seemed to have had it figured out. And I said, well, so why are you still single? And she doesn't want to be single. But the thing is, she's not worked out the shadow aspects of herself that are keeping her in a pattern of singleton when she wants to be in a pattern of connection and communion with somebody. But she thinks she knows, but nothing's changing. That's a clear sign of you needing someone to backstep you, like my analyst being able to spot check me and say, well, have a feel of this because I don't think you have this in your awareness, or what other thing could you be hiding from yourself? So try to go there. It will reveal a lot. It all feels like it's got a tight grip. The ego, the shadow's got a tight grip on you, but it isn't. Just takes a little bit of work for it to get into that sidestepping space so that you realize what is trying to be shown to you. So yeah, that's the main energy of this week. It's really, really showing you shadow aspects of yourself that want to be integrated so that golden energy can come through. And that just bangs beautifully in the center of what some of us might be feeling in the run up to the pre-eclipse season. We've got eclipses starting from next weekend, and that, when we're sensitive to that, we can also feel the shadow energy of eclipse, the darkening, the wanting to reveal to us the things that we do not know, to illuminate the very things that we've kept hidden within the psyche underneath that shadow and darkness. So this is all beautiful, beautiful, energy for working and doing shadow work on yourself or with somebody else. On Monday to Wednesday this week, keep an eye out on your emotional tuning, because we've got that Cancer moon, gentle inward listening, empathy, reconnecting with your emotional roots. I think we truly can only lift the shadow up correctly if we're being kind and compassionate to ourselves. We've got the Leo moon, so we're going to feel this new wave of creative expression. How am I expressing myself creatively? What inner feelings do you have that you could bring through art, words, or even just joyful connections that you might be seeking? And I have found that there's a lot of us really seeking joyful connection, just something light, something fun, something that allows our inner free spirit to just have a bit of play. You might be seeking that. And then on Friday and Saturday, we've got the grounding and renewal. We've got the sun in Virgo, the moon in Virgo. This is just like really ideal for reestablishing or refreshing your wellness, thinking about, are you meditating? What are your self-care rituals like? What spiritual practice are you doing? Are you in a body of work? This really hits perfectly timing as we come into September, which is kind of the month of academia, starting new courses, learning new things. Really do that, really start something. If you can really tune into some bodies of work, which is why I've been kind of writing a lot and getting some new courses out there, they will really have a deep impact on your psyche, and they will also move some things for you that is getting in the way of a spiritual, more potential you. So make some clear practical intentions that help stabilize that inner life, not the outer one, but the inner life. So yeah, there's lots of energy that's supporting us. It might feel quite abruptive and like soul lifting, but it's all in support. Mercury is sextiling Mars all week, and that helps us with supporting clarity, having purposeful communication, being able to articulate our needs and our boundaries confidently, sharing what we feel, what we think, what we want clearly to people, regardless of what that might bring or how we might make them feel. Practice that this week. Articulate, being able to say, this is what I need, this is what I allow, this is what I don't allow. It's a great week for doing that. And then as the end of the week comes, we're going to be feeling the Saturn tension, and we're feeling, emotional resistance and a push towards necessary structuring of your habits, the things that, like I said, are in shadow. And the Uranus square that's it is encouraging you on the back of this to open up to spontaneous spiritual insights and awakenings, but we have to stay centered before acting on impulse. So impulse might come, that creativity, that spontaneity, that artistic creative direction within you, but just be rooted in the center of you and allow it to express itself from the center of self rather than an emotional reaction. So basically, yeah, lots coming in with the eclipses. I may share some extra stuff on the eclipses as we come into it next week, because I think it's potent ground to do some deeper shadow work on. But basically, this week is inviting you to revise some of your inner routines, a review of and a renewal of your heartfelt creativity and your deep emotions that may wanting to be show themselves. And it's really a potent time for you to clarify what truly nourishes your spirit, expressing the authentic self, love, and connection, deeply listening to yourself and to others, grounding your spiritual insights with intentional action, and staying flexible and open to unexpected inner shifts, and dealing with those inner shifts from a centered self. Whew, it's a lot, and it keeps being a lot, and that's great for our ascension. So I hope you can stay aligned with how the planets are trying to help. If you get in sync with them and you see all these things that I share and you work with it's smoother. It's just smoother. It allows you to understand, make conscious what's going on in your inner and outer world and how to navigate it. So I'm wishing you a great week. I'm wishing you some deep shadow work that will reveal the golden light that hides within those shadows behind the psyche, and really hoping for deep transformation and ascension. So good luck and bye for now.